welcome back. I never start with okay to Minute Sisters Live, but I'm only starting that way because I'm so excited. Y'all.
Yes.
We teased you before the break.
Yes.
We said something was coming. Mm-hmm. And you know, we've evangelized about these people.
Yes, we
like
have.
we're at your doorstep with pamphlets.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say what religion because I don't want to offend. But we have, two of these stars of our show.
Yes.
911. You know it. You love it. They're 8 seasons in. The finale is coming this week.
Jesus.
And the words that are about to come out of my mouth,
Mariah's sister.
I never thought I'd say, Lord help me. We have Oliver Stark and Aisha Hinds. Welcome.
I've never heard such an introduction.
Of the 118. The 118.
I might do a church running.
Come on, baby. We've been shouting.
You want to talk about church? I have said since Mariah put me on 911, which was about 1 year ago, when I started from start to finish. I caught up within 2 weeks.
Yes.
I say every day, I thank God for making me a 911 fan.
Oh my God.
And I watch, as our sisters know, every procedural.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Morn and I are comedy writers, and so I don't watch a lot of comedy because I'm like, I can't. It hurts my brain sometimes. But a procedural is what puts me in a good mood and spirit. And when I was introduced to y'all, I was introduced to 911 in my first writer's room.
Really? I
And
didn't know
my
that.
friend Kratz, shout out to Kratz, he would always say, there's this show where they do the craziest stuff and you will never believe it. So he showed me the clip of Chim getting the rebar in his head.
Correct.
And we would watch that every day because we were like, this is crazy. And I said, well, let me watch this. And baby, I got hooked. Hooked, line, and sinker.
Hooked every person who would listen.
Mm-hmm.
We've hooked our listeners, our sisters as we call them, friends, family, and people, which we'll get to when a big thing happened on the show recently. People were like, you walked us into this show, and then we abandoned them because we haven't talked about it yet on the show.
We haven't spoken about
And
it.
they were like,
Mariah refuses to watch the
She
finale.
won't even watch it.
No, I haven't watched
She
the
hasn't
last
watched
two
the last two.
episodes.
I did.
Because
Come
I get
on.
so
she's
anxious.
too fragile.
I've read all
Mariah,
the
take your
spoilers.
time.
Yeah.
Load them up right now.
I
Let's watch it together.
started it last night, and I said,
It's too,
I got to
too
go
fragile.
to sleep. I'm so hurt, but we'll get to that. But I can't watch, and I've said this before, I'm like, with endings and finales, it hurts my soul. I haven't seen the finale of Oprah. Like, that's for some reason. I haven't seen the finale of Friends. I haven't seen the finale of anything. And when people die,
Yeah.
It's too much.
Is
to
that
watch.
because it makes it final, that it's over if you watch it?
it makes it so I know I have something left. If I know I can watch it in the future.
Right.
And it's still happening.
Right.
Okay.
But I'll read probably what happens. I'll read spoilers
Sure.
for everything.
Yeah.
I told Lauren I read basically everything but the script for the last two
Yeah,
episodes, so
yeah.
I know what happens. And even Cap on his knees has gotten me.
Yes.
I ain't even seen it.
Yes. When he walked away from Athena, I started sobbing.
Wow.
It's too much. It's
good.
too much.
I mean, not that you were sobbing,
Yeah.
but good,
Sobbed.
you know? That's
Now-
what we want.
We're going to finally
Actually
ask you
ask
some
you a
questions.
question.
Yes.
So one thing, as you probably know, we love people who cut up and kiki. And that's why we're obsessed with you guys' friendship, especially. So what was the origin of that, and how did that come to pass that y'all became so tight?
Well, so tight is a very strong way to say it.
Okay.
I don't know about so tight. We get on. We do all right together. We work together, you know.
Just co-workers. Just co-workers.
No, I don't know when, because I feel like obviously we've all of us really got on from the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, though, right? Because it was from the beginning for all of us. And I think that the thing that keeps making it become so tight is the fact that, you know, naturally over the course of like a series, there's this like spoken thing where like, oh guys, after the third season, everybody starts fighting. It just gets ugly.
Right.
You know, and so we kind of waited for we enjoyed our first two seasons. Like, oh my God, we really like each other.
Yeah.
And then by season 3, it was like, we still really like each other.
When is the storm coming?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we kind of, waited to see like, when won't we like each other, and gave ourselves grace, because it's like that's supposed to be the trajectory of,
Wow.
and we just really loved each other and spent time together. And I think too, weathering a lot of outside life
Yes.
storms. You know, the industry is on its head. COVID happened. You know, and it kind of literally and figuratively put us in a bubble.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think we just kind of bottom. But also I think that the characters have been written in such a way where Hen kind of, you know, was giving him wisdom from the beginning and to date.
Wait, where are you going with that? That mirrors life?
You know, here I am.
No, that's true. That's true. And I do think, though, you know, we have always all been very close. But I do think we've got, like, specifically a little closer over the last couple of years. Don't you think that? I think something to do with...
Oliver.
Oh, come on. Rip my heart out. I think because we live close to each other. You know, I would drive you to work
That's
sometimes,
true.
which obviously meant nothing.
What car do you have?
Well, back
loves a
then
car.
I was
Yes.
probably... What was I probably driving you? I was probably driving you in the truck, the F-150.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
That's a pickup?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And Oliver's quite the extremist because when he first started the show, he had no car.
I
And we would be
started with no
so
car.
upset with him, like, Oliver, it's fine. You don't have to live this life anymore.
And I was living in that studio that you guys used to make fun of me
Right.
Not
for.
a studio,
Up until
no
season
car.
4.
What?
Yes.
Listen, you never know when a show's gonna go away. I was
and
just
write about
stacking
it.
money and being like, so when the time is right, I'll be.
So
yeah.
he went from no car, living in a studio, to like this house.
Okay.
On
Okay.
Acre.
Yeah. No, but I get that. That's a smart move.
Living
But
large.
Big old truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Love
150
that.
is iconic. Is there someone on set who spearheads like the familial vibe, or do you all kind of tap in? Like, I know my role in the family is to get people together for dinner, or I know that I'm the party planner. Is there anyone who's like, they keep us in check and they make sure that we do our social events together?
Actually, to be honest with you, we don't see each other that much.
Well, you film
outside
so
of work.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because some casts do, right? And it's not that. I mean, obviously, we just spoke on how close we are, but I do think it's like because it's so intense
Yes.
the job that we do, and we do
Yes.
work 6, possibly 7-day
Yeah.
weeks, you know,
Yeah.
which then results in 12 days straight because you do 5, then you work the weekend, then you do 5.
Oh my God.
It's nice to have a little break
Yes. You're like,
from
don't
our
talk to
family.
me.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I think we're just, all of us are actually people that we don't do tons of social things. Like if any one of us did more social things, I think we would probably all do them together, but we like to sleep.
But also, I think,
I
like,
do.
I think it evolved, like, because in the beginning we did,
yeah.
right? You know,
But you were trying to prevent that third season
Yes.
curse,
Yes.
essentially.
We
But
weren't as
also, we
tired.
were
Yeah.
younger and we didn't have a lot going. Like,
Right.
I wasn't married.
Yeah.
I didn't have, you know, I have my family that lives with me
Yeah.
now, my mom, my nephew.
Wow.
I didn't have all of that. I was living alone. He was, he was here fairly new to LA. Then Ryan, he was
Right.
also, you know, like, we all didn't have a lot
Yeah.
else going.
Yeah.
So we spent time outside of work also together.
Wow.
We went away to Big Bear together.
Wow.
I think Ryan kind of spearheaded that.
Yeah.
We would go to, you know, to lunch. You know, Pete kind of, you know,
Yeah.
saw that. You know, we would. Kenny's very
Mr.
much that
Social.
guy.
That
He's
seems-
Mr. Social.
yeah.
He would be like, I worked at this bar. I worked at this
Yeah,
bar
yeah,
before.
yeah.
And so he would make sure that we would go to these bars and restaurants.
Oh my God. And that even works with Chim's backstory.
Exactly.
Precisely, he
Come
brought
on.
it in.
A lot of the backstories from the show.
I know. We're going to get to
You'll
you.
find some things.
I got to find one for
Yeah.
you. We're going to get to you.
But then, life happened, and we all became responsible adults. And it
Right.
was like, you know,
Doesn't
now
that suck?
Ryan has his kids. I got my family. He got big dogs. And
We gotta talk
I love
about
that.
gotta
Everybody
talk
got
about
kids.
dogs.
I got dogs.
We want to talk about the
got
dogs
his
because
dog.
we're big dog people as
Okay.
well. And Lauren's wife, Brooke, she is a white woman who grew up very privileged around horses, all that stuff. So
Okay.
she's our vet. When anything
Yeah.
happens or happens to our dog, we'll be like, Brooke, Sprinkles is throwing up. What do I do? And she's like, no, check his gums, do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Like she will tell us what to do.
Gotcha.
Do people come to you for that?
I didn't grow up with dogs.
Really? Just
No, I'm
learning.
from London. I didn't have dogs. Like there was
Whoa.
not space to walk them. Yeah, no. My dog Jade, which is my smaller of the 3, she's my first ever dog.
Wow.
So I've worked it out as I've gone with them.
What kind of dogs do you have?
So Jade she's a mix. She looks like a black lab, but
And she's
a
the
mix.
smallest you
Yes.
have?
So then the other 2, they are
What?
a breed. They're called Anatolian Shepherds. So
Okay.
they're like
What?
livestock guardians.
What?
They're like they're big. I mean, I'm 6'2", and he comes up to my waist.
What?
Whoa. Yeah, they're I heard you describe them earlier to someone as a wolf. Like, so I said my front door was not locked, and she's like, "Sorry, he's got wolves."
That's such a black way to describe somebody's dog, because once the dog gets big enough, they're no longer a dog. It's a pony, it's a horse, it's a wolf, it's a bear. It's
Why you got
not
that
a dog.
animal?
You know,
in your house?
someone at work the other day, I walked by and they did say, "Oh, you got dire wolves," and they were black. So yeah, fair enough. All right, yeah. But yeah, so they're big, like, guardian dogs.
Oh my
so,
God.
But two of them, so Jade, the smaller one, and then one of the Anatolians, they come with me to work every single day.
Wow.
So they've turned Aisha, previously not a dog person, into a dog person.
And
I
big
love
dogs
that.
too. I
Live for
love that.
That's rare that big dogs turn people into dog people.
Child.
Was it a journey?
It was so weird, like, because I have friends who have dogs, and I was like so anti. But I think it's Bear's story, you know, like how he found them, you know, their sibling relationship.
They're siblings?
Yes.
Yeah,
and so I caught them. They were running free, and I caught them.
Yeah.
Here?
And yeah.
What?
And now, every single day, I get a dog meme on Instagram from Aisha. Every single day.
Are you serious?
Just completely
am I lying?
My friends are like, who the hell are you?
Wow.
You're like, not me, a dog person.
It just seemed like they had such a rough life.
Yeah.
You know, and so he would share the story about them and share, like, you know, how aggressive they were with one another. And then, like, during the strikes, we would walk the lines together, and he brought Bear one day, and it was going to be Bear's first time sort of being around people, and so he was nervous, and so I was nervous. I'm like, well, why are you bringing?
Come around me. I'm one of them people.
And Bear just was so warm and soft, and like it was just so beautiful. So I was like, and so I was proud of Bear. Like, look at you, look at you being around people.
I know.
People are better than me.
It's therapy.
This is my dog Sprinkles. May he rest. Was similar. He had a horrible upbringing, and he was a mini poodle. And I was like, I adopted him, and I was like, did I make a mistake? But trying to like get him acclimated to life. But I rehabbed him, and he was at the end sweetest thing. He had a year without biting.
Yes,
and.
Yeah.
I'm
what,
like,
what
a
more
good
can you
story.
ask for?
What more can you ask
Except for 0 years without biting.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, he mostly only bit
not
me.
0.
Right, yeah,
the
exactly.
opposite. Infinity years
More.
without.
Yeah, but so dogs, like, especially rescuing dogs is
Bear,
iconic.
not to speak too much on them, but he has a very special energy because he's so big, but because he's now so gentle with people. It's like there's something quite disarming about him. Like he'll lean up his weight against you, but just like let it rest there, and he's everybody's favorite. He's won over the entire studio lot.
I'm obsessed with that.
I love a set dog.
I love a
know, I
set
love a
dog
set
and
dog.
a big set dog.
Yes.
We like outside of Sprinkles, all of our dogs are so big.
The day I got Sprinkles, the day after I brought him to work, and I didn't know his temperament, baby. He almost bit a kid. But I learned my lesson quick. Okay,
quick.
I would like to pivot because I love 911 so much. I could truly write a thesis about why I love your show, but I would like to specifically address the way that it portrays Black women.
Yes.
I think in the workplace specifically and in friendship, like when Hen and Athena sit down to just like chat or are there for each other, it's so beautiful. And I think about, you know, when Hen was like, you know, on the Stairmaster trying to get, you know, carry all the equipment and everything, and like the way that it accurately portrays like workplace struggles and like real sisterhood. How much of an input do you have in that, you know, the process of like developing those stories?
I don't have to have an input, thankfully, right? Because they have been thoughtful enough to include our voice in the writer's room.
That's amazing.
So there are Black female writers who are present in the writer's room, and there are just, you know, thoughtful women in there, you know, who are mindful enough to ensure that they are doing the work to authenticate our experience on screen as close to it as it is off screen. You know, from my first meeting about the project, they pitched the character less about kind of the work that she's going to be doing and more so like, so she's Angela Bassett's best friend. I was like, say less.
Say less. Sign me up.
Where do I sign?
Yeah.
Where do I sign? You know, and so it was just like the idea of being able to explore Black breast friendship on screen in that way, you know, but then also seeing that these are two working women with families and, you know, and
who are
flaws,
leaders
and who are leaders in the space and who are, you know, strong and vulnerable, you know, who are impactful to the environments that they occupy, you know, who
so
are
much
respected
is expected.
by them.
Yep.
It just was such a full is such a full experience for me. So I appreciate you seeing that, you know, and noting that. And so it makes it so wonderful to kind of inhabit that on a day-to-day and then to see the impact of it out in the streets. Like one of the first times that I went back home to New York, where I'm from originally, and just had people who looked like me, like, girl, oh my God, I love this. I just felt so validated in the work, and it inspired moving forward with doing more of the work on the show. So
I would like to give flowers to whoever wrote one of our favorite lines of all time. And as Oliver shared with you before we started, I got Mariah a pillow that has a picture of Angela Bassett from the 3-part cruise season premiere where she said this.
He doesn't have any damn dongle.
That is our. Even just whenever you need something, he doesn't have any damn dongle. Don't ask me about the dongle.
Don't ask me about the dongle. Anything in my life, I'm like, don't ask me about the dongle.
Because he doesn't have it.
You know, if you ask me 1,000 guesses at what your favorite line from the show was going to be,
Never be it.
never. Give me 10,000. Never.
Are you that is we have that
Life-changing.
soundbite, so it comes up
In the show,
often, because
organically.
it's also an energy. And speaking of, I
Yes.
did miss something very big at the beginning of the show. For Halloween,
Yes.
I dressed up as Buck.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
You have pictures?
I
Our
did.
friend Torian actually
friend
sent
Torian
it to
sent it
you
to, 'cause we
because
know
Torian was
Torian.
at my Halloween party.
Oh my God, I've seen these pictures. Yeah.
And it was
Cute.
the joy of my life.
Yes.
And now it's the joy of my life.
Yeah, I was like, this
I'm
is,
upset.
and I was gonna dress as Athena in that scene.
Yes.
but I was like, that's just a little too niche.
Yeah.
And even with all due, the costume was
A
niche.
black
That was
woman as
a white man was not.
And in a tight, it was a sexy Buck.
Yeah.
she had like
As opposed to the real one. That's just normal.
correct.
She was
Their standard
As opposed to TV Buck.
as opposed to like regular.
Yeah.
the asexual version on television.
We had to make, when people get a little excited.
Yeah. For once.
Yeah.
For once.
So, I was whipping around the hose. I
Yes,
was
she
doing all the
was.
things. So thank you
so
for
good.
Yes.
For a
I gotta look it back up again.
Yeah,
I gotta
your
remind
impact
myself.
is felt.
Yeah.
yeah.
In terms of impact, I do want to talk to you, Aisha, about your directorial.
Yes.
Yes.
Aisha, can I just say first, truly, as I watched it, I was like, even the slight stylistic things that it did, like when the montage of Buck, like actually moving into Eddie's house, things like that, and like the mega church, like all of those extras.
And then you being in scenes.
I'm like, this is, and as a directorial debut, is insane.
Insane.
Listen, I was so grateful for the experience and immensely supported. Like, I learned about the superpowers of our crew in a way that, was elevated from I always had respect and reverence for them, but getting to see their collective genius at play and them be able to have a perspective on how the story is told. Like now, you know what I mean? Because as an actor, I am so consumed with what my job is in executing the storytelling and what I have to do as Hen and where I'm walking and what, that I forget that there are other people in there who
Making
are
them-
punctuating
yes.
that. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
Whether it is the choice of paint on the wall,
Yes.
where the picture is placed, where the couch goes,
Yeah.
how it goes,
Yes.
where the camera is facing.
It's the
like
full story.
It's the full story.
Yeah.
And to see everybody so excited about their contribution to this show
Right.
just elevated my experience. And I had so much support. My brother here also was a tremendous support. Like he would come in early on days when he didn't have to. To your point, the scenes that he were in, he would come. I would come to set a couple of hours early just to kind of sit in the space because I'm like, I'm new here. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right,
You know?
yeah.
So, and he would come, early before the crew and just like, what do you need? What are you thinking? And share with me what he was thinking and had, you know what I mean? And it came down to the end where I was like, how would you block this scene?
So now when's your directorial
Exactly.
debut?
No.
Correct.
No.
Not happening? All right.
I was
well,
just
why
there.
not?
Oh, I don't know. I like to. Aisha's been pushing me to
I think
try
you
to
should
throw
go
my hat in
for
the
it.
ring. I have found that I like to have ideas from my point of view. I like to watch things happening and go, oh, guys, I think maybe if we did it this way, it might help and it might be a little simpler. I like to just have the ideas when I have them, and I'm not really
sounds like a writer.
okay.
Yeah.
So-
you like having
I'll take that.
input, but
Yeah.
not like having to carry the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want the pressure or anything. I don't think it necessarily appeals to me.
That's I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
I
agree
like
with
to
that.
speak up when I want to speak up, and I'm also happy to let things happen around me, and best idea in the room wins.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I was just there to watch and support Aisha do her thing, and hopefully she'll do another one next season.
Oh my God.
I don't know if
she
that's in the
has
works, but I'm
to.
throwing it out there. 'cause it should be.
right.
Well,
Make it
we
happen.
have to take a quick break. And during that break, support us because, baby, we are breaking down with what's going on.
We'll be right back.
See the flame.
And Mariah Smith. All right, welcome back to Smith Sisters Live. You're here with the sisters, of course, and now I'm going to call them honorary sisters, and a sister and a lad. Rachel and I are lads on tour.
Yeah.
Lauren is not a lad on tour,
I'm not a lad.
unfortunately.
No.
Can you actually play that?
Wait, this is so British.
Yes,
It's from Love
Island. We're and
We
so
play it
that makes
anytime
sense.
we
anytime
do a
we're
show.
just when
the
Lauren's
two of
out,
us.
if
Gotcha.
because
We're
just
lads.
the vibe.
Just
Yeah.
lads on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, lads
Just
on
lads
tour.
on tour.
While it's Aisha, Hinds, and Oliver Stark.
Yes,
also,
yes,
FYI,
yes,
those
yes,
voices
yes.
you heard. Oliver actually over the break said he had a question that he wanted to ask on air. What is it?
So you guys obviously, which is lovely, really enjoy the show.
Yes.
You said you watch a lot of procedurals.
Yes.
Like, what is it specific? Not that I
Yeah.
don't agree, but what
Yeah.
specifically is it about 911 that you guys like so much?
Can I start?
Okay, go for it.
I'll start. For me, which we kind of touched on at the beginning, you all do these things that are so crazy, like the Be NATO. It's like, there are things where it's like, this feels like it would never, ever, ever happen. But then you all make it feel so real at the same time, where I'm like, I can also see this happening, or your reactions to things happening and your relationships are like, oh, this is real family, real work drama, real lives that are happening. Even if these fantastical, crazy, disruptive things in the city are happening,
Like
the
can I just
realness
say,
happens.
My friend Kratz DM'd me. He was like, not them having Bobby's funeral, then the next episode, the water in LA is flammable. Yeah. I was like, that's what life goes on. Yeah.
it's a pendulum.
And what I really love about the show is I think it was the first episode, which also I think it's one of the best pilots, especially of a procedural, because you learn so much about these people. It's when you all are taking, I think, the woman who had put her baby in the tube.
Yeah, the pipe.
And you want to go into the hospital, and Bobby says, like,
Yes.
you don't go through, like, we don't go through the glass, we do it before. So I love the idea. It's like, oh, watching what happens before, whatever's going to go there. I love that there are different, like, what is it, calls each
Yes.
episode.
Yeah.
Like, I love that sometimes there are arcs, but also that it's like, okay, we handled this call, on to the next.
Sure.
I
It's
think
Yeah.
the
very
first time that I watched it, I was like, wait, that that call is done.
Yeah,
I was
it's like, we don't see them?
get to
Yeah.
finish
Right,
it. And Mariah was
right.
like, no,
No, we're
the
moving on.
day keeps going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
What I love is because I am like a long time like Grey's Anatomy watcher, I usually stick to medical dramas, but what I really resonate with on 911 is the characters, how adaptable and talented they have to be, because it's like the fact that Hen and Chim are firefighter paramedics and
Yeah.
Eddie, like that
Which
is
I never
so
thought about until the
brilliant
show.
to me. Or like the fact that it's like, okay, you can get the jaws, but you can also get on the ladder. The improvisation and like resourcefulness that has to happen and problem solving. I love that about the show. Like, because no call is going to be the same. Like, I watch shows like doctor shows, and they're always like doing surgery, and that seems hard and cool.
Sure.
But like, you guys show up to the call,
Right.
don't know what to expect, and it's like in 30 seconds you have to figure out what to
And
do.
to that point, I like that it's not just like these are cops, these are doctors,
Yes.
whatever. Because my biggest thing that I've been thinking about a lot, I don't know why, medical shows don't show like nurse practitioners enough,
Right.
and I'm like, you
Or
have
physician's
or
assistant.
physician's assistants, like things like that are part of the ecosystem. So you see everyone. Of course, some calls you'll need the police and the firefighters.
Sure.
Like,
Yes.
there are things like
Or
that.
the dispatcher.
Yeah,
Yes.
the dispatcher.
Never seen
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yes.
it's so real in that way. So I love that. Thank you for
Okay.
the
Yes.
question.
Thank you.
Can
Thank
we
you
ask
for your
you one?
answers. I guess if we have to, I suppose that is how
In
it's going to
terms
go.
of, I do want to talk because Lauren mentioned like grabbing the jaws and getting on the ladder. You all play firefighters, but you also have to kind of be built like a firefighter. Like you all seem
Like you are
so-
actually doing
Yeah.
all of it, which I know y'all do some of your own stunts, but like,
To me, I'm like, how does one keep up the like you're not a real firefighter, so how do you keep up the physical momentum? Like how is your day to day in the gym? We've seen you in the
I was
gym
about
on
to say, if
social.
you follow Oliver
I see
on
you too,
Instagram.
though.
I
see you.
You
And
see
on
the
the TRX,
3:30
and
a.m.
here's because we all are, we lift now, the three of us, and so I love seeing it because now I'm like, oh, I know what I did,
Yeah,
and
you
it's
know
so
the
fun.
things you're using. But do you come up with your own plan where you're like, I'm
Your own
just here
program,
to
yeah.
stay healthy? Or is there something where you're like, I know they're going to ask me to do X stunt, so let me just make sure like my cardio is good. I can at least lift 150. Like, what is that for both of you?
Yeah, I lift very much and train very much with the mindset of I'm going to be lifting people or things at weird angles. I mean, we had a moment the other day on set, right, where there was a heavy-ass washing machine, and I was like, oh, what if I moved it out the way?
Right.
And you were like, why are you volunteering to do that stuff? But I said, because I do. I train with the idea that I come to set and I can do these things that they should do. So it's like, I train for it. I want to do it once we get here. So, no, I absolutely do work out with that in mind that, you know, even if it's holding something that's not particularly heavy, we're holding it at a weird angle to get this car door open. So, it's definitely, from the get-go of the show, been a big part of how I perform in the gym and why I perform at whatever hour of the morning in the gym.
I mean, it's
What's
crazy.
your max for deadlifts?
Right now, I've lifted 4 or 5. But I don't know right now. I don't think I'd lift 4 or 5 right now, but that's the most I've
What
ever.
about back squatting?
It's like, I want to see your muscle now.
I have a 315 back squat.
Oh my God. What are you talking about?
But I don't bench a lot of weight, so those are my two good lifts.
Okay.
And I don't bench a
Oh
lot.
my God.
Wowzer.
I'm trying to get like, yo, my boy.
On that same front, because you all are such great actors, and again, remembering that you're actors, like I personally, I'm afraid of heights, but if I got a job that I really liked, I would have to really sit with myself and be like, okay, this job requires me to be hanging off of something or, you know, climbing ladder and stuff. How do you as an actor, when you get an audition, like, do you have either of you any aversions or like fears that you've had to like navigate around either for this job or for other acting roles?
I'm a strong supporter of the stunt union.
Yes, come on now.
We give thanks
Strong.
and we bless.
We give thanks
So
for
we
the
bless.
people who
We
have put
bless.
time and energy and expertise.
They are trained
We have an
professionals.
amazing stunt coordinator, Tia Turner, lovely man, black man who
Love it.
has put together an incredible team of people
Love
who I
it.
support.
And we want to let them have fun in their job.
Exactly. I
Do
don't
their
want to take
craft. Don't
away
take
their
that from
time.
Keep the employment.
Exactly.
No.
I
Yes.
tried to tell Oliver.
I'd be
sometimes,
trying
I'm
to
like,
take their job.
"Really?"
You're like, I'll
They're
do
good.
it.
I'll do it. Let me do it.
That ladder does not need you. No, but You know, funnily, like in the director side of things, like I was so much more like willing to do things, you know. On the actor side, I know how many takes it takes to do a thing, so I'm like, where's my stunt double?
Yeah. Yeah. I need my also employing black stunt women. That's so important.
Correct.
So like that is great.
Although just so the double's going to be there regardless of she.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, she's got a job no matter what.
She's still getting paid.
Oliver's like, no, I'm not taking the job away from my stunt
just to be
because he
clear.
still is there.
But also, I'm not going to let you downplay too much. You've done some stuff. You do some cool
it's
stuff.
Fun. It's exciting. You know, if something seems like thrilling, and we have, you know, production designers who create our worlds in these amazing ways. So, you know, sometimes it is kind of enticing.
You're like, ooh,
to
I
want
to
do
kick that
things.
door in.
Yeah, exactly.
I love smashing stuff.
I would
Really?
love that.
It's
They
like
let
a
me
smash
smash
room.
a camera the other day. They put a GoPro on the door.
Did they let you, or did they tell you not to smash
No,
the camera?
he
and
said hit the camera with the battering ram, and I said, Andrew, now DP, I said, are you sure? And he said, yeah, hit it. I said, it's gonna break. He said, GoPros don't break. I said, Andrew, are you sure? He said, hit it.
Did you break it?
He
It
broke
didn't even record because it broke.
I need
It
you to
goes
shut
right
up
up
right
until
now.
the moment of hitting.
Right up to the moment it hit.
The moment
And
of
so
impact.
it's in the show, right? The episode is aired. It's in the episode Invisible, and we go in and there's a man. He's
stuck under
stuck
the
in
bed.
a
Oh,
bed,
yes, the
and
one
they're
where you
cheating
at
on
the
top
end where
of
you.
him.
Oh, that
So
was
when we-
interesting. I remember that.
So when we break into that house, there's a shot of me swinging a battering ram, and then it comes right up to the camera, and then it cuts.
I
And
actually
said
was
to
wondering
them-
about that
Yeah.
cut.
And I said the other day, I was like, "Oh, you didn't actually show the hit," and he went, "Because it stopped recording."
Yes.
you
So-
broke.
Yeah, so,
The
so
cut
I
did
love
call my
smashing stuff.
attention.
Yeah.
Because
I remember
right
the
inside. I was like, that's a
different
stylistic choice
POV.
for them.
Yeah.
I like smashing
It's
stuff
like
on
that
the show.
Louis
hilarious.
episode when they changed the animation
Yes,
randomly that one
it's like,
time.
now
and you're
hold
like,
up.
what happened? She is a kid. Sorry.
Yes, I do.
Question. So we love that there's so much queer representation on the show, and I just want to ask for our buddy stands out there,
Yes.
Eddie and Buck. You have said that you read Buck as bisexual before, but there were certain things that, like, in hindsight, basically, you know?
Absolutely.
So what I wanted to do is I was thinking there are certain scenes that stick out to me where I'm like, you weren't thinking that in that scene. So we're going to read a scene for you.
Just dry. Just the word
dry. And I want you to
Please
really
don't read it
tell
dry.
me.
Let me
No,
hear something.
no.
Come on.
No.
It's the script page.
Yes.
We have
No,
to
I literally
Highlighted
wrote it
and
in the
everything.
final draft. I said, I'm doing it. Okay.
All right.
Rachel's going to do stage directions.
Yes.
Lauren, you're Eddie. I'm Buck.
Yes. Interior.
You have the costume, so.
But Buck's loft at night. Buck and Eddie, enjoying beer, stand opposite one another in Buck's kitchen. Eddie leans on the counter. Buck, the island.
Can I just say, this is not a dry reading. You're putting a little something into this.
Listen, we've done
Leans
speech
on
and
the
debate and
counter.
perform. Don't
Come
play
on.
with us. Okay.
It's not dry.
Now, let me play a role opposite my sister.
Yes.
Now, I thought for sure that day in the grocery store, you were going to take a swing at me.
Not that you didn't deserve it, but I wouldn't do that. You're on blood thinners.
Well, I'd still take you.
You think so?
I know.
Buck straightens himself and inches toward Eddie.
You want to go for the title?
Eddie smirks and sips his beer. End scene.
Yeah,
Now-
that was super gay.
Yeah. And so in that moment,
It was.
and I believe you grabbed
It
your
was.
belt a
I
little
did grab
bit.
my belt when I said it.
And
Yeah.
I said, this man is grabbing his crotch, leaning toward him, and he got a beer in his mouth. We about to see something we shouldn't. We about
ABC about to
So, you know what's funny, right? So when that scene was written, Tim Minear, who's our showrunner, said to the writer of the episode, he was like, this is a scene, right? This is two guys like talking to each other, and the writer said, well, I wouldn't talk to my best friend like that.
No.
I did grab my belt when I said that. But here's the thing, like, genuinely, when we're playing those scenes, like, that was not in our head at the moment. Looking back, I do see how it's
subconsciously.
taken. Yes.
What is wild to me is that I saw it in that scene, but then in the like classic Buck Tommy scene,
Yes.
I didn't see it
I
coming
didn't
at
see it coming
all.
at all.
Right.
Can I tell you though that Buck Tom, the first kiss between Buck and Tommy, everyone loves it. Iconic. And that's actually how I got a lot of people to watch the show. I said, they doing some gay stuff on here. Y'all need to tune in.
Me with my wife, I'm like,
Turn it
two
on.
men doing something?
I ran to the back of my house and I said, "They're gay on here." And my wife was like, "I'm on a Zoom."
And I said, Buck is kissing a man. Buck is kissing a man. And I'm like, we obviously replayed that, but my favorite Buck kiss is the one where you have the soot all over your face.
Yes.
Now, that's something. Turning up in a room full of people looking like a little slut. Like, that is power.
I love
so
it.
we thank you for that.
We do thank you. We also, what were you about to say?
I don't think I was about to say anything. That was just nodding along.
I was going to ask to leave.
No.
I was going to say, we also thank you, because Aisha said, if you follow Oliver Stark, you get a whole bunch of stuff on the IG, and you sometimes get posts and deletes, which we'll get to in a second.
Wow.
But we see a lot of photography.
And you have a photography account.
It is stunning.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
The photos you post, I'm like, this feels to me like, okay, this is a set photographer who knows the cast well enough to get these shots. Then knowing that it's you getting them, it just is like truly phenomenal.
They look like historical artifacts in real time.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
So where did that passion come in? Did you have that passion prior to being on set, or were you like, I got to document this incredible journey I'm on?
So I started taking photos during COVID.
Wow.
Way to get out the house. I started with landscape photography. So I would just learning as I went, really, like all self-taught. And then at the beginning of actually last season, so everything I've shot is on film, and that just felt like a fun thing to do. I started last season being like, can I document behind the scenes of the whole season?
Whoa.
And I made it to episode 6. And then this year, we had a new camera department come in, and a lot of them are big photographers as well.
Wow.
So I had this like extra motivation and people to keep me accountable. So I had the idea of, if I shoot the entire season behind the scenes, black and white film, and then I make a coffee table book at the end of the season. So it's been difficult the last few weeks though, because it's starting to feel like pressure.
Yes.
But
And
we are
it's
wrapped now, and I did it. I got 18 episodes.
Shutterfly about to be sick of you.
The last batch of film is on its way to New York right now to be developed.
Oh, right, you get it developed. Because they make fun of me. I have my little Olympus and my little cameras.
Yeah,
I
it's a
like
great
taking
little
these
camera,
photos. And I'm not great at it. Like, as I was telling my sisters earlier, I approach life guerrilla style, essentially. Like, nothing, I'm just like, oh, I did it, it's fun, whatever. But, so I really appreciate it. But are you going to update your film account? Because it hasn't been updated since November of 2024.
So here's the thing I did that I regret. So
You opened it up and had people follow.
Yeah, I had that
that was
account for a
weird.
little while, and I didn't have my name attached to it, and I was really enjoying it. And then I made it public, and I regretted it because it just became something different.
Yeah.
It felt like I wasn't doing it for me, which I previously was. Suddenly it was, and look, people being super lovely on it,
Yeah.
best photographer ever, and I'm like, no, but you're only saying that because you like me on that one. It just became something. No, not that, not to take away, because I do believe I take nice photos.
Yeah.
But it just became something different once I made it public, and something about that made me draw back away from it. And so I share what I take on set. I was doing that at the end of episodes for a long time, and even that I pulled back from a little bit.
Right.
But I have a whole bunch that I'll probably start to drop over the
so
weeks.
exciting.
Oh my God.
Fans constantly, like, I somehow love Reddit, and I'm, doing my little thing. They are like, Oliver, he's interacting with us finally, thank God, or like, I can't believe it. But why do you then post certain things and delete them on your stories?
Which you do.
You do that.
I do that
also
too. I
do
know
that.
why I do it, but why do you?
I would say there are 2 reasons.
Okay.
One is sometimes I'm like, what are you posting that for? What are you looking for there? And then other times I'm like, that'll be out in the world now. They got it.
Yeah, they got it. They got it.
That's right. I was
got
like,
it.
that's
So
always
true.
going
They
to
got
live
the
online.
screenshot.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Man.
So, yeah, I would say those 2 reasons primarily.
And why do you do it?
Yeah.
I have always
Because I'm always like, where did that go?
No. I have always believed I have to post from my spirit.
Okay.
No matter what it is.
Okay.
And if I don't feel spiritually it felt right, I'm gonna take it down.
Okay.
You draw back.
I draw back.
Understood.
I would like to have been avoiding it. We have to talk about the last 2 episodes before the finale of 911. As I said, I did sob, and that's on me for starting it at 10 p.m. when I was in my bed.
After I texted you saying someone died.
Yes, and I was like, well, I don't know who it is. And I was like, oh, God, please don't let it be Chim, not realizing
It was gas.
it was going to be Bobby. Okay. Walk me through when you all found out that this massive death was going to happen on the show.
A phone call came in.
Wow.
From our showrunner the day before
No.
the pages
You better
No.
stop.
were going to drop.
No.
No.
And were they new pages or was
Yes, and they hadn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was previously unknown.
So we were starting, obviously. It was a 2-parter episode, and we had obviously started the first part.
Jesus Christ.
And we, like you, were walking along the story as it was written and been like, wow, these are really dangerous situations.
Yeah. They had
like
you open surgery on the table laid out.
Correct.
I said they're not gonna do this
But
to him.
never not once did any of us
Die.
think we were not
Because
making out of it this place, because the nature of our show has
That
always
doesn't
been
happen.
Survive.
that I'm going to get up off this table.
And I'm gonna see you
Chim
tomorrow.
going to get up off that table.
Yep.
Robbie going to get up off that floor.
Yep. And we all
And the
go
cat
down.
going to
Yep.
lead us out.
Exactly. Now, say ain't nothing but a word.
Can I get a amen?
Amen, baby.
And Buck going to be out there welcoming us with Athena.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like I've been investigating for y'all.
So yes, that has always been the culture, the formula, the pattern of the show, and so Tim Minear has been, famously, noted as saying like that has been the show.
Yeah.
And so he felt compelled to sort of, make a creative choice that would just kind of shift the I guess the texture of the show. I don't you know what I mean? And so he too was like, I've always done this thing with all of these characters and that's just not realistic. Now, as readers of all social platforms, there is a dragging for
Yes.
the
Yes.
realistic versus the non-realistic
Yes.
when it comes to our show. It's like, when did you decide that you were a realist?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
Because he
can't
also
just
described them as like comic book, like it's like a comic book characters. It's like
Yeah.
Wolverine will go into the adamantium and come out.
Yeah.
That's what y'all do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You all are incredible actors, and don't even get me started on Underground because
Poor True Blood.
That episode.
Please don't.
Mine is True Blood, though.
Yes,
You and
with
that
all
wig.
due.
Have you watched that
Minty,
episode?
season 2, episode 4. Minty, come on.
Have you watched it
Harriet
yet?
Tubman.
Come on.
Whole episode.
Did they teach you
Aisha on
about
that
Harriet
stage.
Tubman in school?
I don't know if they
I
did
don't
actually.
think so.
If you don't know, they probably didn't.
No, but I do know, but I don't think it's through school.
No, probably not. Why would they?
I'm just asking. I don't know what happens in primary school in London.
For your A
But I want to know those shots, which Mariah hasn't seen for her mental health, at the end of the episode where it's like you're sitting in that chair, like after you've gotten out of the lab, the cuts to all of the 118, like finding out and crying. I was like, these are brilliant actors, but I was like, I feel like some of that was for Pete.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure it was,
100%.
because
For sure.
honestly, some of the episode it was shot out of order, so I don't even know if the scene where Pete actually, takes a knee, had actually been shot yet before.
For me, it had happened
right.
that day.
So yeah, yes, it
I
did.
had
It
said bye
happened
to him that day.
My stomach hurts.
Yeah.
What?
And I think for Kenny and I shot on the same day, and I don't think it happened. And it was very visceral for us. It was very gutting. It was a big change happening. Feeling kind of suddenly for us. We've spent 8 seasons together.
It breaks my heart for you all.
Yeah, it's
Like,
sad.
So
So
We
can't.
spent more time with each other than we have anyone else in our lives. We work 5, 6, 7 day weeks, 10 to 14 hour days. Like, we don't see anybody else as much as we see each other.
Correct.
Like, it's family.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's not there.
Yeah.
And that it is difficult to reconcile with that, and it definitely feels different. As you know, is the intention though, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for something to feel different.
And you all are finally leaving the Fox lot.
Yes.
Right.
So
Yes.
that's going to be a lot of
Big change.
next, which I'm like, that stresses me out. But I also want to ask before we end, at the wrap party, you wore a jacket that said 911 Nashville, and we know Nashville is going to be the spinoff.
Why would you do that?
No, I didn't do that.
So
Don't worry, I'll correct her when she gets that question.
no. So don't say you're going to correct me, baby. I'll correct you. Okay?
Let her get a little question
I know.
Get your question out.
Don't
Come on.
worry about it. I've been, what is it? What do they call it? The council housing? What is that? I've been there.
Council estate.
Council
Council
estate.
estate, yeah.
Maybe I will check you. But are you going to Nashville?
No, so,
me, boo? Yeah, who gonna check me, boo?
so the jacket I was wearing
Yes.
said it was the brand name, which they are based in Nashville.
Sure they are.
There was the 911 that I was wearing was I met somebody for the first time who works in our construction department.
Okay.
And they had made their own little 911 construction crew pins. So I had my 911
I'm
honorary
gonna say I don't
construction.
believe you, but I love the story you're telling.
Pull up the picture.
I love the
It
story
says
you're
911 construction
No,
crew.
no, no.
Oh my gosh, she's
I
going
love
for
what
it and
you're
everything.
saying. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. I know I'm right.
I know what I
telling.
wore.
Wait a second. Wait a
go.
second.
Set her straight, Oliver, please.
I mean,
No.
it was 4 days ago. I know what I wore.
Embroidered. That thing is embroidered.
No, it's a
Where is
pin.
it now? I can't find it. Lord help me, God.
The
I got
Nashville
it.
is
Now I
embroidered.
can't find
No,
it.
the
Now
pin
I
is
Oh
embroidered.
yeah. Oh, it's suddenly
The
gone
pin
from the
is
internet.
embroidered.
I thought the internet was forever.
No. I'm gonna get that for you. I will show you that, and I will zoom in and show you how it works. And when I see you on that season premiere, I'm finding you.
Wait, but here's the thing. I would love to go over there for an episode. Yeah, sure. I'm not fighting that.
But are you going for a season?
Oh, not that I know of. No, I hope not.
Gotta ask Tim. Yeah, gotta ask Tim.
Wow. Well,
Let me see if I have a picture.
thank you.
Let me see if I have a
While he
picture.
pulls up the picture, we unfortunately have to end the show, so that picture will be just for us. Sisters, thank you so much for joining us. If it's real. that construction pin on my jacket. That's the brand from the day. I put the pin on it. Sure you did. All right, we will see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for Andy Cohen Live. It's coming up next. Thanks for listening. Bye, sisters.
Bye, sisters.